Okay, let me walk you briefly through the core data operating system and our Evolution app, which is built on iOS and Android and brings an all-in-one unified data experience to mobile with some superpowers. And I'll need to show you, how that's possible from the back end side and what the innovation that we're fundamentally bringing forward is. Let's take a quick step to define the problem that we're solving here. I think it was well defined by Bob Abbott at Norwest in an article in November last year, where he was talking about the email opportunity that we're still sending 154 billion messages a day, and that really email continues to be severely overused, mostly because of lack of tools that integrate into a single interface. The more places you need to check for messages, the more difficult that it becomes, and most people fall back to email because of its universality and everybody's checking it all the time, so it's the most reliable place to get important messages to people. And I think, of course, we've set out many years ago to build the underlying platform to solve this problem. And you can see here, Bob did very quickly identify that to solve this problem, we need a platform, not a feature. This is a big engineering challenge to build a platform that allows for next generation collaboration to be wed in with email and documents. Very briefly, we're going to look at some of the key points, what the platform would need to have. It would need a fast, lightweight mobile client functioning as a single user interface for all hub activities. It would need better searching. It would need integration to file sharing. It would need a single interface for mail calendaring and task management. It would need integration to existing mail servers and Exchange, and this would need to be deployable on-premise or in private clouds as well as publicly for it to be acceptable and manageable by large companies with IT departments. So you can see that Silicon Valley is in the beginning stages of dreaming of this platform, and that it is needed, and we have spent the last 10 years building this platform. So let's talk about it specifically. It's called the coRe Converged Object Relationship Engine. And it is a real engine. It is scaled. It is built over 10 years. It's a big piece of engineering. And it has a single data schema so that you could build 100 different applications using the fundamental communication layers of the core. And in some cases, the core would get you to 90% complete on applications if they're very focused around communication and data sharing, something like Box.net kinds of functionality, or Tumblr, just these kind of communication solutions. The underlying engine of the core has pre-designed all these kinds and integrated all these things together in a single data schema that is extremely abstract. Of course, that's how that happens. And I believe this is the missing link in the process that we have up till now thought about operating systems and hardware, and then we've jumped to apps, more apps. And the apps are actually getting simpler and thinner, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but to the extent it breaks Einstein's principle that things should be as simple as possible, but no simpler, it does end up in an issue. And the issue is, of course, that nobody solved this email problem because nobody's built this platform. And fortunately, we've taken the time and our own money to build this. We built this overseas in Cyprus, and I've done some fairly significant projects on top of the data operating systems, such as R360, However, the full power of the core has yet to be seen, and we'll show you an example of the full power of the core today in the mobile interface in just a minute. But core is a data operating system that connects all the data in underlying relationships in a single schema and deploys them at scale so that you can build next generation functionality similar to what Bob was talking about, and deploy it behind a firewall or in a public cloud. And all the data in the system knows how to work with all the other data in the back end of the system. It knows how all the data fits together and how it's related together. It's pre-integrated, which is really useful for use cases. So the first really significant product that we're launching into the world's attention from the core is our Evolution. And our Evolution is an all-in-one mobile application. Let's take a quick look at it. Here we are. Here's the all-in-one app. Let me put it in the center of the screen. Mail, our drive, which is similar to the functionality but far beyond the functionality of Box.net and Dropbox. Our contacts, which is a contact management system mixed in with WhatsApp secure functionality for businesses. Spaces, which is similar to Slack's Yammer, threaded conversations around topics with tags, and Notes, which covers a lot of the, note-taking on mobile is incredibly popular, and the notifications, and below, calendar, intranets, and tasks in beta. The interface part is beta, the back end is solid. Now let's look at the advantage of putting these apps in one. Notice the bottom, we have three icons. The one that's spinning that's the place where apps open. The center button, that's the place where you can see the menu of apps that's available, that are integrated, that we created. And the right-hand side is data. That's where all the app data can work together as one. It's completely new, and we have very serious patents pending on that area. And it's not only patentable, it's a really mountains of work to build this stuff underneath. It took 10 years. So let's start with the mail. The first advantage that you get from powering your mail through the core is that we add full text search through attachments and body at super blazing speed. Similar to how Mailbox app did this. We did it far before them, but we have commercialized later this app. This app is fresh off the press. And you've got some new things that you can do. For example, as a mail comes in, you can move it into folders, do all the stuff that you would expect that you normally can do, But you've got new powers. You can slide this over onto the data area that we call the plate in the bottom right. It's a work management area, to-do list, hybrid that you'll see in a minute. So I slid this over, and I can flip over any object and write a note on the back of it. And that's, of course, obviously useful, especially when I'm deferring something that is not relevant to me today but will matter to me tomorrow. When I get to it tomorrow, I may not remember what I was thinking when I just received that. So I slid it to my to-do list. I added a note onto the back of it, and I can search through this with new power and speed. Even if the back end is exchanged, we add the full text search layer on the top. The second advantage is the drive is pre-populated with all the mail attachments that you've ever sent or received, in addition to anything you upload and synchronize in. And you can share all those things securely, Dropbox style, or otherwise directly in the system. But from the security of the data being behind your firewall, which is much to IT's preference. And you still remain with those powers that you can slide them to the right to that data area called the plate on the right, and flip them over and write on the back of them. Or you could even start multi-threaded discussions in the back of a document. That's an advanced topic. We're not going to go through that right now. The third area, of course, contacts. And here, contacts list is created, people who are in the system and also people who are emailing you and also contacts from your phone are merged together here. If they're in the system, you have the ability to drill straight in and go into a WhatsApp style conversation with people. And of course, the advantages of that are huge. These are secured conversations, again, stored on company servers. And it's for people that you frequently work with, it's much better to interact with them in this way rather than mail. Notice that you would get notified in the same interface for both new messages, for email messages, and for new messages that relate to discussions. You're going to find those in the single notification center or in the context of each application, or even in the data area on the plate. You have a lot of ways to see what's going on things that are important to you, and you can see them when they're important to you, which is gaining back control of your time.